for both early exit and bold prediction. I think Germany will come third in that group, which I think will be beneficial to them because they'll face the Netherlands rather than England, and then they'll probably face Wales or Denmark in the next round. On the other side, I think Portugal will come second. They'll face England. So this is where the surprise exit is. I think England will lose that game. Just because I feel like that would just be a fun story to have. If England, I just want to see the implosion, and I just want to see, Portugal is a really talented team, man, and they're just really good. I think they have a really fun, high ceiling. I think England are really good too, but I think Portugal can definitely win that game. So again, England has this unfortunate thing where their side of the bracket is if they come first, which they almost surely will, they have to play either Portugal, France, or Germany. So I think they're screwed. I think so. Maybe on one hand, it's a surprise that they're going to exit it that early. On the other hand, they basically could be playing a final the next round between Portugal, France, and Germany. That's who their opponent will be. That's tough side of the bracket to be in.
It would be funny if that Portugal-England game, if it does happen, and then Cristiano Ronaldo, if history repeats itself and Cristiano Ronaldo causes a red card and gives an England player a wink or something like that, and all hell breaks loose, and the media outlets in England just berate Cristiano Ronaldo again. That would be a fun storyline. Regardless
of what happens, I feel like we have England fireworks on the cards here in this tournament.
Yeah.
My bold prediction is I think Wales are going to make the semifinals.
Wow, that's huge. That's a big one. So I did my best Real Madrid player and worst Real Madrid player performing at the tournament. And I had Gareth Bale as the worst Real Madrid player. So that puts my faith in Wales. I don't know. I don't think they rely too much on Bale. They rely too much on individual quality, especially guys like Ramsey and Bale who are injury prone. And it's just, they really need to perform like they did the last time around. I mean, the last Euros, they were incredible, but those two were kind of at different stages of their career then. Now they're older. They're not quite the players they were at that time. And so, I don't know. Did you see Mourinho kind of take a swipe at Bale?
No.
He said so. He's doing Mourinho's an analyst ahead of Euro 2020, and he kind of went through all the teams and their strengths, their weaknesses. And when he was talking about Wales, I guess somebody asked him about Gareth Bale, and he said, and this is the point you always make, Keon, is he said, well, look at the goals Gareth Bale scored. He didn't score against any of the top opponents.
Mm-hmm.
And so it was kind of a swipe at him, but it's true. I mean, his goals did come against some of the weaker sides and the sides that gave him a lot more space. And in an international tournament after a COVID season, I don't think that many teams are going to be playing high lines. I think especially the smaller teams are just kind of going to buckle in and try and survive and get as many results as possible in a deep block. So Gareth Bale may not have the space nor the service he needs from his Wales teammates to actually play well.
So Mourinho is 100% correct. Here's the case for Wales and Bale. You mentioned the injury concerns and all that stuff. He inexplicably just is healthy for Wales all the time.
That's true.
And it's like not the same player as the club level. But I don't think that this is going to be reliant on Bale either. I think like if you look at Wales, their defense is pretty good. Their group is not that difficult. If they can get to the next round, second place, because they're not going to beat Italy, assuming they won't top that group over Italy. Italy has that lockdown. If they can get to second, their side of the bracket is favorable because then they'll face probably Denmark in the next round. Their defense is really good. If they can squeak past Denmark, all of a sudden they're in the quarterfinals against maybe Germany, according to my bracket anyway. I think so. Here's where it gets tricky. If they face Germany in that quarterfinal game, I think they can just shithouse their way through good defense and counterattacks against Germany's high line, like a 1-0 or goes to extra time and penalty shootout. they squeak by. And then in the semifinal, they'll probably lose to whoever's there. That's my bold prediction.
That's a bold prediction for sure. I think listeners maybe put like $20 down on that and see what happens, but I don't know. I think that's a really bold prediction. Which is what it's for.
Yeah, that's exactly. Yeah, it would be a cop out to say, "Oh, I think Germany will make the finals." Like it's not really a bold prediction. So best and worst Real Madrid player. I didn't know that was a thing, but I can do it on the spot really quick. I think
go for it.
You said your worst player. I think the worst Real Madrid player at the Euros will be Eden Hazard, and I think a lot of people are, there's a kind of that recurring joke like, oh, watch him just be healthy for Belgium and he'll play well, and then we'll get tricked again and he comes back and he's going to have a disaster season again. I actually think that this might be the first time that Belgium fans will be like, oh, what happened to him? Like, he's not healthy for us either. Like that quote from, I don't know, was it you that posted it? On Managing Madrid, the Roberto Martinez being uncertain over Hazard's fitness. That was the first time I've ever seen Roberto Martinez actually not defend him. Like he's usually like, oh yeah, he's fine. He's his fitness is perfect. That was the first time it felt like Roberto Martinez like saw him up close and was like, this is not.
Yeah, and he played. I watched all his touches from the last 10 minutes he played against Croatia, and wasn't great. It just looks like, I don't know what it is. It already looks like he's lost some speed. He's lost like a burst of speed and just doesn't look like himself. And so I agree with you. I mean, I don't expect much from Hazard. I don't think Roberto Martinez at this point is really expecting much from Hazard. Given his comments now, nobody knows where Hazard's at with his fitness. So it'll be, I mean, I think the best he could do is like be a super sub for Belgium in this tournament. I just don't see him any way playing 90 minutes or.
So he's not going to start. You don't think?
I don't think so. I'll be shocked if he does. I think he's going to be a super sub at best.
You think Thorgan is a better player right now? Just based on form and stuff.
Yeah, I know. God, that's so tough to say, but what do you think? I mean, I don't know.
I mean, just in terms of pure efficiency, he's been more efficient.
Pure efficiency, and just like you can trust him to be on the field for however long you need. So yeah, and I think he works. He's a good system player. Like for Dortmund, he's even played in a wingback role at times for Dortmund. So he can plug in a number of different spots and do a job for you. So yeah, at this point, I think he's more reliable.
The thing with Belgium is that I suppose it really depends on. It's not like they're that deep in attack. So you're looking at Mertens, you're looking at Carrasco, Lukaku, who are possibly three locks, and then off the bench you have Thorgan. And I don't know if I could put any other name above Eden. So, what's the status of Kevin De Bruyne? Do we know?
I think he'll be okay. Okay. From what I've read.
Because if he's not okay, they're screwed.
Yeah.
Yeah. So, where did you have Belgium? Did you have Belgium? You had Lukaku as your top scorer. So, how far do you think they'll go?
Yeah, I had him in the semifinals.
Okay. Who would you have as your best Real Madrid player?
Karim Benzema. I think Benzema will be the best player one of the best players for France in the tournament.
Yeah, same. So I think like somewhere like towards the top you'll have Kroos and Modric, who will just at least will probably be reliable for their national teams at the very least. Varane, if France get far, I'm sure it means Varane's had a good tournament, and that's it, right? I mean, this is a kind of it's not the most fun pool of Real Madrid players in an international tournament because we missed out on Odegaard, this is not a World Cup, so we don't get to see the Brazilians. We don't get to see Fede. No Spanish team players. Still crazy to me. Courtois. I always forget about Courtois. Poor goalkeepers never get any love. Courtois. Yeah. Oh, that's it. Golden Gloves. That's the category I forgot. Golden Gloves is the one I think who concedes the least amount of goals, right?
Yeah. I would probably... I don't even know this about it. Is Donnarumma now the starter for Italy?
I think he'll still be the starter, yeah.
Then I'm going with him.
Well, yeah. I guess if Italy make the final, they're probably doing on the back of a pretty good defense. So it's a good shout.
Yeah.
Yeah. Are there any categories we missed? Because, again, my phone is upstairs.
No, I think we got them all.
Okay.
The one thing I wanted to discuss with you, and I kind of have the list of what I think it'll be.
Mm-hmm.